Welcome. What a night we had yesterday and what a morning today. A lot of information about Vinicius and the Diomande situation makes it clear to us, if it wasn't already, that he's going to come. What happens is that it's been delayed without us really knowing the reason, even though it's been mentioned in the last few hours. But also in the last few hours, things have gotten messy with a personal story that Romain Molina shared about Diomande. I don't know if PSG is behind this stirring things up because I'm really upset that they couldn't make the signing happen. But anyway, the situation with the Ivorian is resolved, and the clearest example is that he won't be or isn't in the squad for the match Leipzig has to play today. Still his team. We're also playing today, 6 p.m. Spain time. Now let's review because we're without center backs. But first, the timeline of what happened with Vinicius from last night until this morning and well into the morning, almost until noon, always in European time. I've borrowed from Ana Nanino what she made with artificial intelligence, that split jersey, right? From Real Madrid and Arsenal, like Mourinho debating, oops, Mourinho, Vinicius, well, Mourinho too. Well, Mourinho wants Vinicius and Real Madrid wants Vinicius. But of course, there's something there that I think is for now, unless the expectations drop a lot, and I mean a lot, insurmountable. And that's the issue of money. Let's go over the timeline, I insist. Last night, there's an account called Hand of Arsenal that said this at 10:16 p.m. Exclusive. Arsenal has in principle agreed to personal terms with Vinicius Jr. Rock Nation, which is the agency representing Vinny, will come in armed. The phrase armed in the negotiations is a direct literal translation from English into Spanish, going into negotiations with Real Madrid, armed with a monstrous offer from the English champions. It's your turn, Vinicius Jr. History with, I don't know what, well, here they mention someone. Who is this guy? Well, one of those who, I mean, look, they're people with a big following. They say these guys from Hand of Arsenal. Later, I found out who they were. Uh, when they say something about Arsenal, that's their specialty, of course. Most of the time, they're right, and these guys have really good information. They are followed by about 400,000 people on this X account. And when they say something, it's because they have solid proof, as they say in journalistic jargon. Well, there were people saying last night that until David Ornstein says something, who, as you know, you already know him, he's a colleague of Mario Cortegana at The Athletic, a leading journalist when it comes to the market, nothing is certain, especially regarding all the moves that have to do with England. And above all, and I didn't know this, everything related to Arsenal. When it comes to Arsenal, David Ornstein, if there's any team he's a specialist in, it's this London club. And until he spoke up, well, we were going to treat it with some caution for a bit, even though those from Hand of Arsenal have very good information. It turns out that in the morning, David Ornstein made this post. The future of Vinicius Jr. is entering a crucial stage. Talks in the coming days about an extension at Real Madrid, leaving on a free in 2027 or joining Arsenal now. All options are open, and the 26-year-old winger is interested if there's no renewal. Of course, he doesn't confirm that there is already a personal agreement with Vinicius from Arsenal's side. But he implies that if things don't work out with Madrid, Arsenal is there to make it happen. And of course, the other day in a Sky Sports report, they said that Arsenal had supposedly pulled out a bit of, well, if we go further back, there's information saying that Arsenal has everything ready. No, it wasn't that they'd convinced Vinicius. That wasn't what people were talking about, but rather that they have everything ready. All the money that Vinicius is asking from Real Madrid, Arsenal has it. Then they say, we're going to pull out of this. That's what Sky Sports said because it looks like he's going to renew with Real Madrid. Then Kio says that Vinicius is going to lower his demands. But we were wondering the same thing. And Kio has good info about Vinicius' camp. We were wondering the same thing. How much longer is he going to keep lowering them? Because, of course, there's a very important issue here. And that's that there are 80 million separating Real Madrid and Vinicius. 80 million. That's the signing bonus. And Madrid doesn't understand. Madrid doesn't want to give a signing bonus, a renewal bonus equivalent to a signing bonus, right? When Vinicius becomes a free agent, you say, hey, look, if Mbappé did it and the other guy and everyone else did it, why shouldn't I do it too, right? Some people do it mainly for the money, often demanding high fees. Some join the club as free agents and still ask for something. Alava did it, Rudiger did it, and many others have too, right? At Madrid, well, a little extra money is either paid in 1 year or spread out over all the years of the contract. And of course, with Vinicius, how far will it go? I mean, if he asks for 80 million or a similar amount, although I've heard that what he wanted was to have it paid in one season, I don't think so, not if it's such a large amount. Hey, if he asks for it over 5 years, you raise my salary to wherever you say. Because if Madrid wants to raise it to 20 to 20 to 20 net, 20 or 22 net, right? And that's it. That's where Madrid stays. Madrid doesn't want to include something they already did with Mbappé, but that was because he was coming from another club, right? And Mbappé, well, the situation with Mbappé is special, but even less so with someone who is already inside Real Madrid, because it can set a very dangerous precedent for Bellingham and company. In the future, they might want to do the same, and Madrid puts its foot down there. They took a firm stand, and I fully support my club. They're already offering Vinicius an outrageous salary, the highest salary. But Vinny says, but I don't have the highest one because the highest one belongs to this guy who plays next to me, the one he doesn't get along with, by the way. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get along easily. It's been 2 years like this. And well, I want the same, right? And there, of course, there's something there that I think is impossible to overcome. So if Vinicius lowers his demands, which is something David Horn isn't mentioning here, this gentleman isn't saying it. There are people commenting on it. Well, the situation is going to be very difficult. It's tough since it's not just a 10 million difference or something like that, which would already be huge if they told us that. In the case of footballers who earn so much, maybe it's not that much. In the case of clubs that handle so much money, maybe it's not that much. But of course, it's 80. And there's another thing, the image rights. For now, it's 50 like Madrid does with all its stars. And here we open a little, what?
Abrimos aquí un pequeño paréntesis.
Vinicius is internationally the star he is, thanks to him, of course, but also thanks to Real Madrid. And Vinicius wants to increase that percentage of his image rights or have all of them outright. Hey, I don't know if Mbappé had, I think he did. I think it was either 90 or 100%. But in Mbappe's case, it's different because Mbappé is coming. I mean, it's not thanks to Madrid that Mbappé is so well known, a star, and one of the brightest stars in the football world. And he comes into this under different circumstances. Vinicius also has to understand this. And I know there are a lot of people who say no, but the one who has done more for Madrid is Vinicius rather than Mbappé. Yes, 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 that's all very well. That's all very well. And that Vinicius loves Real Madrid, even though, despite being offered a lot of money, he's still thinking about it and dragging things out and so on. Yes, I mean, we can understand all of it, but there's a point where we have to understand that the club has to put its foot down. And honestly, at this point, I'm with the club. And regarding the image rights, maybe Madrid could give in a little more. And maybe that's what it's about too, giving in a little more. But not to the extent of the other one. That just can't be. And the thing is, Vinicius has to understand that no matter how good he is, even with the 2 goals he's given us in Champions League finals, and how decisive he is when he's at his best, for me, he's the most decisive player in the world, even above Mbappé. But Vinicius needs to realize he's not Mbappé. On many levels, he isn't. Hey, kid, you're different. I mean, and you're so decisive for Real Madrid. Well, definitely more. In the short history that Mbappé has with Real Madrid, despite his 50 goals every season, and in the much bigger history Vinicius has with Real Madrid. But Vinicius is not Mbappé. And if he doesn't understand it, well, man, there are people who say, no, he's not going to be sold to Arsenal even if they don't reach an agreement. What do you mean? No? But how come? No? That's why the people in London are getting excited again, because Madrid is not going to allow Vinicius to start the season, for September to roll around with him still not having renewed, and for that to be no big deal. No, damn it, no. No, because in January, he could screw you over. And more than him, all those vampires he has around him, those people from Rock Nation, and all the people Vinicius has surrounded himself with lately, and they're going to do it like that. And well, yeah. As for me, I hope it gets resolved, that Vinicius stays, of course, that he lowers his demands a lot, but how much is a lot? Madrid isn't changing its plan. It hasn't changed. And that's been on hold for a long time. And here, only one has to give in. Madrid is not going to give in, Vinicius. Or should Vinicius give in? Because, damn, look, after all, Cristiano Ronaldo left, Di Stefano left back in the day, Cristiano Ronaldo left, Sergio Ramos left, and Madrid didn't budge an inch. Madrid is not going to move, not an inch. Much less for Vinicius. Come on, man, don't kid yourself. No matter how important he is and how much we love good old Vinny, therefore, it's all or nothing. And of course, that's why they're making moves over there. And hey, well, Vinicius, listen, it's more his agency than him. They've told him, look, we're asking Madrid for this. Would you pay us this or would you pay Vinicius? Well, no, of course. They obviously take a cut, what we're asking for. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of what Real Madrid doesn't cover. Well, that's it. Let's go with that. But I don't think Florentino will be impressed that, as that Hand of Arsenal account says here, Rock Nation comes well prepared. Florentino will just say, very well. Okay. If he said it to Cristiano, the ages are different. Cristiano left Real Madrid at 34 or 35 years old. And at 33 or 34, no, he wasn't 35 yet. And Vinicius still has a long career ahead of him. He's not that young anymore. Vinicius is going to turn, or has already turned, 26 years old. Therefore, it's something different. But Florentino, and I support him in this, and I've always thought the same, and in that sense, it's very good. Florentino doesn't hesitate. He doesn't hesitate. Well, the other issue is Diomande. Florian Plettenberg says this. Florian is the one we trust in Germany, right? He says yesterday he posted this. Leipzig has not responded to Real Madrid's latest offer. As a result, negotiations have largely stalled in the last 24 hours, causing some surprise in Madrid. If nothing extraordinary happens, Leipzig's current plan is for Diomandé to return with the team to the training camp in Austria on Saturday. We're making a timeline. There is an update to this information that is more reassuring for Real Madrid fans. When you're watching this, maybe the problem has already been solved or is on its way to being solved. It says Diomande has been informed. However, he still hopes to avoid traveling. A final decision is expected on Saturday morning. In other words, now the player's clear intention is to have to travel, not to participate in the team's full training sessions. He wants the transfer to Real Madrid to happen. He wants to be mentally detached. He wants to be transferred to Real Madrid, mentally checked out. He's in Leipzig hoping the clubs agree soon. The deal is still on, with a crucial weekend ahead. This shouldn't have become complicated. But anyway, and in this morning's update, he mentioned this just a little while ago. Leipzig is going to face Berlin in a friendly match before leaving for their training camp in Austria at 5. Jan Diomande is not on the match squad to avoid risking a possible transfer. Real Madrid is pushing for progress with the goal of preventing Yandio Diomande from traveling to Austria. Crucial hours ahead. Imagine if he plays, gets injured, and so on. Besides, the kid, as he says himself, is already mentally at Real Madrid and out of the German club. I mean, this has to happen in the next few hours. It should have happened a week ago. A week ago, it was already said, by the way. Fabrizio Romano is on the same page as this man. I don't know if it's his own information or if he copied it from Florian Plettenberg, but anyway, they're all saying the same thing. And what a shame, because he could already be playing today's match against Fiorentina this afternoon if he had been here for days, which is how it should have been. And then, as I said, Madrid plays against Fiorentina this afternoon at 6. We'll make a video after the match. I don't know if it'll be live. I don't know if it'll be live or just a video. It depends on how things go. And Mourinho doesn't have any center backs. Apparently, he's going to have to play with Lamine Fat and Joan Martinez. Because some people are going to say the problem is the same as always. Man, there's a big asterisk here, right? Militao is still injured. Konate hasn't returned because France made it to the semifinals. Rudiger just arrived. You won't make his life hard by putting him in a match after just 1 or 2 training sessions. And Hauserhausen has had some discomfort. That's another thing. You're going to have to play youth academy players. Hey, maybe it's a great time to start watching them, right? Let's see. Let's see which starting 11 Mourinho selects with the limited options he has. And let's start forming our own ideas. Let's start speculating about how they're going to play, how Real Madrid will play this season. Everything starts this afternoon. Hope all goes well for you. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, comment, share, hype up the video, please, because it still helps the channel grow. By the way, at some point we lost, remember, right? What happened in January and what happened in May? We lost subscribers there. And just like with Olympia, it was fine. The ones who weren't going to stay, the ones who had something against the app left. Well, we've managed to get back to around 129 or so. And we're already on our way to 130,000 on this channel. I don't usually brag about the subscribers we have, but maybe today is a good occasion. Many people who didn't know me before have come thanks to the World Cup, which is worth celebrating. See you later. Bye.